A lot of narcissistic abuse survivors feel something deeper than pain after they are scarred. They feel betrayed by God. They look at the narcissist living large, laughing, earning, glowing, surrounded by new people and new praise, and feel like maybe God isn't just silent but absent, that he turned his face away when justice was supposed to speak. They see the narcissist's health thriving, their social life expanding, their bank balance growing, and meanwhile, they are left with panic attacks, sleepless nights, trauma symptoms, and a broken spirit that still hasn't found its voice. It is not only infuriating but disheartening, and it can make even the most faithful person question where God went during the most unjust chapter of their life. But let me tell you this, what you are seeing is not justice, it is not reward or divine favor. It is simply delay, because what the narcissist seems to have is not what it looks like, and what God is about to take back is not what they think they own. Hi, I am Danesh, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, we will talk about 4 things God will never let a narcissist keep, no matter how hard they try. Let's start with number 1, but before we do, a small announcement. I am doing an online event. The topic is how to heal and reclaim yourself after surviving a narcissistic parent. If you want to live your life authentically, book your spot right now at an early bird price by clicking the I button above or the link in the description of this episode. Number 1, the illusion of divine favor. Narcissists are masters of branding, and spirituality for them is what? Branding. They will speak about God with practiced eloquence. They will say the right words, quote scriptures, you know the drill, talk about healing, manifestation, energy, karma, twin flames, divine timing. They will paint their success as a sign that they are chosen. They will use language that sounds enlightened, when really it is just a mask that makes them really harder to question. But what they call favor is often just a delay. God does not stop them right away because he is letting something deeper unfold. He is allowing their own deception to reveal itself over time, not to you, but to them. Because narcissists aren't just lying to others, they are essentially lying to themselves. They believe they can manipulate even God. My own father lives under this illusion to this day. He speaks as if God is blessing him while carrying no remorse for the harm he has caused. But what looks like favor is only silence before the unraveling. At first, their rise may look real. Doors open, people clap, followers grow. They feel invincible. But the energy behind it is wrong. It is stolen and transactional. It is built by exploiting the love and labor of others, especially yours. And that is why the glow never ever lasts. Their peace becomes performative. Their body begins to carry weight it cannot name. Their blessings start to feel cursed, because God never blesses what was built on harm. The more they try to keep the illusion going, the more exhausting it becomes over time. And eventually that illusion turns on them, not publicly or dramatically, but internally and spiritually. God may have let them rise, but only so the fall could teach louder. Because divine favor does not sit on the shoulders of the manipulative. Remember that. It may look like they're winning, but inside, the rot has already begun, I guarantee that. Number 2, the right to rewrite the story. The narcissist doesn't just distort the truth, they try to erase it. They twist stories until they sound like the victim. They recast their cruelty as a response. They reframe your breakdown as a proof that you were unstable all along. And they do not just lie to others, they rewrite reality inside their own minds until they actually believe the fiction they have created. But there is one thing they cannot do. They cannot edit God's version. They can smear you, recruit flying monkeys easily, gaslight the crowd, and gossip until your name is mud. But the truth remains untouched in a realm they cannot reach. God holds the original draft, the raw one, the one written in your tears, the one backed by what you endured in silence, the one they tried to burn. And no matter how well they hide the evidence, that draft finds the light. Not through your anger, not through revenge at all, but through divine timing. One by one, people start to see the cracks, the inconsistencies, the way their story does not line up. Their past slips through in their language, in their posture, in their constant need to control the narrative. And eventually, the story they built collapses under its own weight. The lies become obvious. The truth does not need to shout. It simply stands. And in that moment, the narcissist learns something terrifying. God never let them keep the version they worked so hard to create, because truth belongs to Him and He will not let it stay buried. Number 3, the light they stole from you. Narcissists are not powerful people. They are people who seek proximity to power. They choose bright souls, people with presence, intuition, softness, and goodness. Why? Because they want to control the light within them. They know they have no internal glow of their own, so they stand next to yours and reflect it until it looks like it was theirs all along. That's why the beginning felt so magical, because they were mirroring your energy, not just your behaviors, your empathy, your grace, and the world mistook it for theirs. But it wasn't. You were the source, and they were only ever the mirror. They dressed themselves in your peace, took credit for your influence, used your softness as a shield. And when you left, what happened? They scrambled, because suddenly the glow they had claimed as their own began to fade. God never let them keep what they stole. He simply let them borrow it long enough to reveal their intentions. The moment you walk away, that false glow begins to flicker. Their charisma becomes forced, calm becomes cold, words no longer land, because God reclaims what was never theirs to wear. He does more than take it back. He restores it anew, but this time He marks it. Your light becomes sacred, protected, no longer available to anyone who hasn't earned the right to stand beside it. That narcissist, they are left with only the reflection and nothing real to mirror. Number 4, the innocent soul they tried to destroy. Perhaps the cruelest part of narcissistic abuse is that it targets the innocent, the ones who loved the most, gave the most, tried the hardest, and in return they were punished for their goodness, silenced for their truth, torn apart for their devotion. Narcissists do not just break hearts too late, they aim to break spirit. They try to make you question your own worth, your memories, your reality. They want you to forget who you were before them so they can reshape you into someone who lives in fear of abandonment, desperate for crumbs of approval. But the part they never expect is God was watching, not just what they did in public, but what they did in the dark. The words said behind closed doors, the mocking tone, the emotional neglect and withdrawal, the manipulative gift, the way they turned love into a battlefield. God saw it all, and He never forgot. That's why no matter how broken you feel right now, you rise slowly yet steadily. God rebuilds what they tried to crash. He lifts the very soul they targeted. He brings you back to yourself, but stronger, louder, and untouchable. And in time, the narcissist sees something they cannot explain. What is that? The person they discarded is now thriving. Not only thriving, glowing and speaking truth, walking in peace, and no matter what they do, they cannot take that from you anymore. Because God never let them keep your ruin. He turned it into resurrection. So if you have been watching the narcissist live their life like nothing ever happened, if you have questioned whether they will ever face the weight of what they did, their karma, let this be your reminder once and for all. You are not forgotten. None of it has gone unseen. You may not get human justice, but divine justice does not miss. God doesn't rush. He reveals, and what He reclaims from the narcissist, He restores tenfold in the one who was hurt. And that, no matter how hard they try to outrun it, is a truth they can never, ever, ever rewrite. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.